Well, happy holidays, everyone. This is Shooter Scott Henderson. And hey, we figured we'd do one final market recap for the holidays. And I'm just going to say, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Let's jump right into it. What we're looking at here is a US dollar monthly chart. And you know, the question in this range that I have right here, does the US dollar become the wrecking ball or does it become the jet fuel to launch the markets? And that's really where we are. We're right here. We're testing the floor here. I mean, we're right at the wicks here. Notice where we are on these wicks. So we break below here. All we have is this trend support, and then we're heading here. So in that sense, to some degree, this is bullish bias for me. Now, on the other hand, treasuries are absolutely neutral. Roughly our second standard deviation was here, third was here. I have got it on here. Oh my goodness. So here is our standard deviation line. This is number 2 and this is number 3. Notice how tight we are. This is squeezing like it wants to launch and go up this way. That's what it looks like to me. Looks to me like it wants to head back up in this way. At least the way the Bollinger Bands look. So we're still neutral. Here again, that is a slant bullish bias here. However, on the other hand, let me bring in my upside bands. Hold on a second. Let me edit. So we're going to bring 2 and 3 up on the top side just so we can see that. Notice how we're squeezing to the upside. That implies that we're going to reject. Notice how we squeeze to the upside and then we reject. Squeeze to the upside and then we reject it. So this implies we are going to get a pullback. So we have this level right here, what, 648.53? We get below that, it really does open this up. This head and shoulders is extremely viable right here. The trend, the long-term bullish trend doesn't end until we break below 480.92. That's a long way down there. I don't think that's the case. I think we test this shelf at best. That's just my take on it. And just because I like the way those Bollinger Bands look today, we're going to leave them up there as I'm going through this. All right, the NASDAQ, very similar look. Notice that squeeze going on in the Bollinger Band. So, you know, I think we do get a pullback. However, I'll be surprised if this shelf gets taken out with all the FOMO from Google. Because realize Google needs to start coming off. Nvidia needs to start coming off of Netflix. And Netflix just has been an engine. So you know, you almost need all the Mag 7 to dump for the NASDAQ to come down. Otherwise, it's just rotation. So that's the challenging part. So I see this as our most likely outcome still. Maybe, forgive me, didn't mean to move it that way. I meant to move this. So maybe we go down and test the second standard deviation because we tested the third here. Barely tested the second, barely. If we do take this out, it's going to be one heck of a dip, though. I will say it. We take out the third, we're probably going back to about 470. Just looking where those fibs would be on that chart. Just trying to remember exactly where I was going. Dixie, TLT, we did. XLE. Got to do a monthly chart on this one. I'm going to be short, folks. I only have about 5 more charts to go. Now, the one thing about XLE is we've been in this band. We are on the high side of this. I think we get a little bit of an overshoot. I'm looking at here. Stop run was up over here. So, you know, we got this rejection. I think we get like a third final leg up here that's sort of distorted. So that's my thought. This is a sector that just doesn't boom kind of thinking. So I'm thinking this is the last leg and this is a leading diagonal that ends somewhere right around the top of these bands here at 56 and then flushes back over. Again, a bullish bias look still, not just a huge amount of upside, not huge upside. Looking at financial, it's pretty bullish, bullish buy side, bullish, bullish, bullish. Up here, kind of squeezing, not rolling and dying, you know, so we may put a shelving up here. I mean, I might be a little euphoric. This could be a leading dive, but it looks more impulsive, which means 3 is our longest wave, which puts us up to here or further. So the 618's up there, so we could fully extend all the way up there. So, you know, financials could catch a nice bid here. Sucks. So now you'd come down to the weekly on this one. Some of the charts I wanted to show you the monthlies and other ones I wanted to show you the weekly. So this is a weekly. Beautiful setup here. This actually, I like this with this wick off right here for a shot for a breakout heading back towards the highs. Semis, you know, has been rough this week. I don't think I'm going to touch them until January, but this is the sector that could boom first quarter. Really could look, I mean, it's just in the right spot. It's got a nice back test, you know, tested the highs, rejected another highs, kind of a launching pad kind of thing, because realize this is flushing drive 1, flushing drive 2. It's sort of a higher low. So this is mound 1. This is our trough. This is our peak up here. This is our trough here. So we're going to get another mound similar up here. Everything is in a line for that to go in the right direction. Where is it? There is my I bid. Let's go down to the weekly on this one. And we're holding. That's the key point here. We're holding. As long as this holds, that bullish bias is still there. Challenging part is this doesn't look done. This looks like grouping 1, grouping 2. So, we could be here a while. And we could reject and go down here. As long as this doesn't break 42 bucks, I think we're still fine back to the upside. All right, looking at Bitcoin. Everybody wants to know. This is just the chatter. There is going to be silence Christmas Day about Bitcoin. I've heard a lot of people talk about it in a bad way. I'm not going shopping for Christmas. They must have bought up here at the third peaking drive. They should watch my work. I'll save them some money. That's for sure. So, I still see this as an impulse, which is what I have marked here. So I'm fully expecting it to fail, but it's holding up. It is. It's done nothing wrong. MACD sort of implies that we are finding a bottom here, so RSI is diverging here, which it should, but we don't really have clean divergence. So this low here is a confirming low. So yeah, we could get another one. So the chart says yes, hey, maybe. So that's sort of my thought, folks. Great holidays. Until next time. Until next time, folks.